definitely. Malaysians are way too comfortable. It's so easy to use,
Right.
and everyone can just start using it. But how many people can use it well? AI is not the brain. AI is the hands and legs. You are the brain. You tell it what to do. Let's use AI to create what we cannot do. And of course, on the labor side, a lot of people is going to lose their jobs for sure. But the real thing that can stand out will be...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the A to Z podcast. And today we're going to talk about the A to Zs of AI for creatives with Thomas Au. So Thomas is a former director and cinematographer, and now he's a director of A22A, a HRDC certified AI creative training company. Thomas, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so before we start, can you just share a bit about yourself and why do you pivot from creative production like director cinematography to this field? You know, it's quite a very different side of the creative field for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when now AI is like taking over Hollywood and everyone in Hollywood is like, let's stop AI because it's taking away our jobs, right? So a bit on myself, I was a director and cinematographer for about 8 years, doing freelance projects here and there, doing commercials, movies, series, documentaries, etc. And basically, I lived quite an interesting life. But just around 1 year ago, so in 2025 May, I saw this AI model by Google came out. It's called VO3.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, it's still not that good, of course, but I saw its potential and I saw like how it could disrupt the entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
Because like in 2025, VO3 can do this level of work.
Mm-hmm.
Then, what is going to happen in 2027 when VO6 or 7 come out? Right. So I was quite against AI at that time because, it's my craft that I spent so much time honing and, learning about Photoshop and learning about how to set up lights and emailing a bunch of directors to work with them. And suddenly this machine can do a better job than me. And I was very much against AI. So I was always dissing about AI. And at that time, it cannot do hands right. There's like 6 fingers and all the physics, all the logic is not right.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always talking about, how bad AI is, what it can't do. And then I just realized it can only get better right now. So now we don't have 6 fingers anymore. And like we have seen all the amazing AI videos, right?
Right.
So at that time, it was still quite bad. So I decided to like, okay, I'm just going to take a break from production and then just chill a bit and see what's going to happen in the industry. So at that time, I went into the tech sector. So I went to a lot of tech meetups and AI meetups. So which is when I actually spent time in researching and really just diving into AI, knowing what it is about. So I realized that, it's where the world is going. We cannot stop it. It's going to replace a lot of jobs, a lot of people. But there's nothing we can do to stop it other than adopting it. So I spent the better part of last year doing a lot of research, R&D, and testing a lot of different kinds of AI, different kinds of platforms, and also even worked as an AI consultant for a marketing agency to build workflows, to streamline their processes with AI, etc. And until this year, I realized, okay, what can I do the best at, which is to educate. So, because I love teaching and also there's a great need of new talent needed because this technology is coming in so quickly. We do need a lot of people in the workforce that know how to use this technology. So definitely it's going to replace a lot of people. But the people that will get replaced is not they get replaced by AI, but they will get replaced by people who know how to use AI, right? So which is why I set up this company, A22A, to educate more Malaysians on how to leverage AI, especially when it comes to creating commercial quality images and video content.
I think like when we talk about AI, it's a very big umbrella.
Correct.
Right? There's so many apps, so many software, so many things you can use. So A22A, right? What do you guys teach and what do you guys cover specifically?
First of all, A22A is a numeronym for AI Transformation Malaysia. So between the first A and the last A, there are 22 letters. That's how the name came about. So it's our mission to teach at least 5,000 Malaysians by 2030 on AI skills. And we purely focus on AI for creatives, meaning purely focusing on using AI to create content instead of doing all the other things that AI can do, like data analysis or like business operations, admin, etc. Why we do this is just because we figured that this is where we can be the best in the world at. So we combine our past experience in production as well as our knowledge in AI. So we set up to do this very niche education service, but will benefit a lot of people, especially in the marketing sphere, as well as anyone who creates content. So it can be a designer or any kind of designer, like not just graphic designer, but like interior designer, clothing designer, furniture designer, or even salespeople when they need to create mock-ups. So any kind of people who needs to create content will benefit from this new technology that helps us create professional content.
All right. So let's say I'm someone in the creative field as well. So when I come to, let's say, engage with you guys or want to learn something, what are the modules or things I need to look at? Like usually we only know about, let's say, ChatGPT, cloud, and the mainstream things. So what do you guys teach?
So we have two courses. The first course is AI image with automation, meaning how do we produce AI content in bulk and automate it? And then the second one is AI video production. How do we learn about this new way of working with AI when it comes to making video? Because the entire workflow is very different, or I would say completely different from what we know of like the traditional production workflow.
And when you talk about this, you get a lot of pushback from creatives. I think you yourself said you pushed back against AI before.
Correct.
So how willing are people to actually adopt and actually come and learn these classes right now?
I think that the people who come to us are very willing, very interested. And of course, there are skeptics, and those are just people that I probably haven't heard about. Because so far, our students are very open to it. Mostly because that it is just a technology that is so powerful that we can't avoid it.
Right. So realistically speaking, I'm trying to just grasp this idea. I think a lot of people also, we don't have that understanding to what you can do with AI.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So realistically speaking, how would someone like me or a creative would be replaced in the workplace?
Okay, I think it's very straightforward. Like we just look at how AI content are produced. You can just prompt something and get a beautiful image in a few seconds. You just prompt something and get a beautiful video in 1 or 2 minutes. So definitely people like photographers, videographers, definitely they will get replaced, because when you want to shoot a video, for example, yesterday I was shooting an interview, a corporate interview with just 3 interviewees, and it took us 1 whole day to set up, and we have to set up lights, we have to fly the director in from India, and there's just so much resources needed to make that interview. But when you look at AI, it can do it in less than 30 minutes with less than 200 ringgit. So definitely the cost factor is there. So if you put yourself in the client's shoes or the business owner's shoes, why would you still do things manually or doing it the old school way when this new technology can do it at a fraction of the cost and at a fraction of the price, and you can have multiple variations, you can have unlimited revisions, and you can even just produce 100x the content in the same amount of time, right? So definitely this big savings is there, and we will see a big trend of people getting replaced this year, definitely.
Right. Then I think the other question will be then, how can I prepare myself to be the least likely to be replaced, or what should I learn? What kind of skills?
Yeah, that's a good one. So first of all, so most people would think that AI is like a brain that's like plugged into a data center and like it's just very smart.
Yeah, put it that way. Like I say, it's an algorithm. I think most people, that is a tool we use. We don't even know what's the underlying thing behind it.
Correct. So the first thing that you have to do is actually just to understand it. What it actually is. So in a computer, we know like, we have the motherboard, and so it's just zeros and ones and semiconductors doing calculations. So what is AI? So by understanding what it is, how the architecture works, then you can improve the way you work with AI. So you understand like how it does its calculations, or like what is a context window, how it predicts the next word. And with that, you can have better way of working with it, and have it work in favor of you instead of just telling ChatGPT, hey, can you do X for me? And then ChatGPT will like, oh yeah, sure. And then they give you a reply that's like half-baked, right?
Right.
So that's the first step, just understanding it. And then the second will be to use it in your daily life for as many things as you can. Yeah. Then you will be able to reap the benefits. Yeah, because it's a very versatile tool, which is its strength and also its weakness, because it's so easy to use,
Right.
and everyone can just start using it. But how many people can use it well? That's another thing. Yeah.
Correct. I think like what you say, trying to understand is like, hey, how do I prompt it is very important. And what is the how do you think that AI is going to take your prompt and reason with it? Because with people, we know how people think. AI is sometimes we don't even know how they think. They just come out and you just take it
Correct.
as it is, right?
So AI has a reasoning function, right? How it actually reasons. Should you trust it 100% or should you not? How you should prompt it. By understanding what's the underlying architecture, then you know how much you can trust it. Yeah. So check online. My go-to source will be YouTube. And from YouTube, sometimes they will link me to some articles or Spotify. Yeah. But you don't have to go too technical. Like even a 2-hour tutorial, I mean, even spending 2 hours on YouTube researching what AI is will help you a lot.
If I come to join your course and I've only just used, let's say, ChatGPT to prompt, even Gemini to create some pictures here and there, is that enough to come to your course?
Totally, it's more than enough. Yeah.
Right.
We have students who have never used Gemini before or never created AI content before. They come to a course and after 2 days, they can create a nice content with AI. Yeah.
All right. So before I move on, just share a bit about your course. You said you have a basic and an advanced version. What do you cover in the basic? What do you cover in advanced?
Our courses are all 2-day courses. So we have 2 days of AI image with automation course, as well as 2 days of AI video production. So we cover from basic to advanced, meaning you can come in with zero knowledge or experience. And by the end of the course, by the end of the 2 days, you will still learn all the advanced ways of working with AI. Yeah.
Right. And your courses are also HRDC certified.
Correct.
Which means employers can actually send their staff to kind of learn with you, right? Right. So when it comes to this, I think in the workplace, employers are more kanchiong about all this, say, hey, AI is coming up and our staff is not, well equipped yet. But I don't see the same urgency when it comes to the employees. Like, oh, okay lah, I'm still getting paid, but there's no urgency. If I learn AI, later I get replaced by the AI, I lose my job. So what's your thoughts on that?
Definitely, Malaysians are way too comfortable. When you look at China, where everyone's competing for the same job, then definitely their AI adoption is very high. But over here, we have a nice job, everything is nice, everything is moving slowly, and we get paycheck the next month. So there's not really a need, right? And there's no push from your peers because you don't see your friend be like, oh, suddenly they become a lot better from using AI. I think in general, still the AI adoption is very, very low.
So how do we get them to care?
Okay, how do we get them to care? We need both a top-down and a bottom-up approach. So I think the top-down is already there. So we have the upper management or the CEOs, they will push for AI adoption. But the bottom-up is still very rare, which means that we need to have some AI champions in the team who actually actively use AI. So when their colleagues saw that, hey, how come you can produce so many things in one day where I can just produce just a few things? Then they will be like, oh, I can actually do so much better and so much, and can make my life so much easier. So then they will start and learn from their colleagues, right?
I think some people might say, hey, when I start using AI, it disrupts my workflow. I'm used to doing this a certain way. And then once AI comes in, it's all over the place now. Because sometimes you can't predict what AI will generate for you. Right? So how do you...
Definitely. So in order to predict AI, what AI will generate for you, first of all, again, understand what AI is and know how to use it. And secondly, I believe we are still stuck in this way of thinking of like, oh, I'm going to use AI to create what I already do. But actually, let's think of it the other way around. Let's use AI to create what we cannot do. Because AI opens up so many possibilities. For example, just for a shoot. Now we are doing a podcast in this room, right? So if we want to do it with AI, of course we can. We have an AI avatar of myself and you and a nice background, right? But can we push it a little bit further? So can we change ourselves like into a more interesting location, like maybe underneath the, or maybe like
On the beach,
on a beach,
in the
or
Amazon forest.
yeah, inside of Titanic? Can we wear something else? Can we turn ourselves into like cartoon characters, etc.? So if you want to do all these realistically, like in real life, it's almost impossible, or it requires a huge budget.
Right.
So AI's potential is just there to create what you cannot create. Instead of using the new way to do the old things, you should use the new way to do new things and more and better things.
Right. So with all this, like, okay, so we see a lot of AI content online nowadays. I think one major thing that comes up is when you talk about copyrights, right? Can I use, when it generates things, it doesn't care where it comes from. It just takes from the online and it's a reference, So how do you manage this kind of IP infringement or kind of these legal things?
Yep. So the technology is actually neutral, right? How you use it depends on what kind of person you are. If you are using someone's face to create fake news or creating scams, then of course you are at fault. But when you're just talking about IP infringement, because AI is trained using a lot of unlicensed data, so you might just by coincidence have a person that looks like someone else in real life. So definitely this thing, it will happen. But overall in Malaysia is pretty much a gray area. So what you can do is use AI that is trained using licensed data.
Okay.
Then you will be protected. But of course, those are not the most state-of-the-art models. The most state-of-the-art models like by Gemini or ByteDance, they are trained using all the data from the internet. So you will have this kind of problems. But I think it's just the intention. If you just grab someone's face from the internet and just tell them, hey, can you make this person promote my product? Then obviously it is an infringement. Yeah.
Right. So what kind of, you're talking about models that are using licensed data to actually build on it. Do you have examples of that? I don't think so. I've heard of them.
So for example, Shutterstock AI,
okay,
they train their image model using Shutterstock data.
Okay.
So all the data is licensed. Or Bria, or even Getty Images, because they have so much images that are licensed, so they just use them as training. So like corporates such as banks, they will prefer to use these kind of AI models. Right.
So when you talk about all this, what would you say are some of the, let's go for trends first. What are the trends that are coming towards the creative industry that we should be prepared for?
Okay, I believe you have seen all those videos of like Will Smith fighting Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Or like Will Smith fighting a spaghetti monster. So definitely we'll see a lot of AI content right now because the image models and video models are getting so much better and it's so powerful. So the trend definitely will see a lot of AI generated content on the internet, and the quality will be much lower because we now have a lot of people who do not have taste, do not have the technicalities, but have the ability to generate a lot of content. So it will be polluted in one way or another. And of course, on the labor side, a lot of people is going to lose their jobs for sure. For example, like lighting technicians, we don't even need to have shoots anymore. So what are these people going to do, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're going to drag the slider just on that image itself. Let's do it brighter. Change the lighting here and there.
And also, especially in Malaysia, right? When you look at lighting technicians, kind of people, they are not very highly educated. So maybe most of them, they don't really know how to use a computer well. So definitely there will be a lot of movement in the labor market. Yeah. When you look at the professional sector, like movies or commercials, obviously AI will be taking over. And we'll see a lot more movies as well as movies that are produced with a lot smaller budget. But the real thing that can stand out will be storytelling. Because AI is just computer algorithm. It's just a bunch of mathematical functions. It will not be able to produce stories that can connect with human. Because when you look at storytelling, like we have it since the Stone Ages. Like people draw their stories on the wall, and then we have the Bible, we have the Quran. All these are stories. And right now, the stories that we interact with every day is just those short videos on Instagram, IG Reels, TikTok videos. Those are all stories. It's just different form. So AI will be a new form of storytelling, but the people who can produce the best story will still be able to stand out. So we still need creative minds and people that can tell or like that can create stories that people relate to, because humans can only sell to humans.
I think I just want to challenge that point is that when people do research for stories nowadays, they are being fed by AI as well.
Correct.
So wouldn't that actually emphasize the loop that we are in? Like, you know, AI feeds you and then you feed back the AI, then your story is actually becoming more AI as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I realized that with my captions as well. You know, sometimes I use that to write captions for social media.
And it's always the same.
It's always the same. Then even when I write it myself, I revert to, you know, the biases that ChatGPT give us for me. So what I do nowadays is I would just write myself first.
Correct.
And I get ChatGPT to fix the grammar, give me suggestions. And I think that's a better way to go about it. What do you think?
Totally. I never write any ideas with AI because I know it will not give me what I want, because AI is just computer algorithms that finds the average. So it will just give me a very generic average outcome. So for creative things, I never use AI. But when it comes to execution, that is where AI shine. Like when you have a brief, when you have an idea of what to do, then AI will help you execute it. So to put it another way, right? AI is not the brain. AI is the hands and legs. You are the brain. You tell it what to do, then it execute. Like if you have data to analyze, you tell it what to analyze, what you want from it, then it will do it, right? When you have a video to produce, you tell it what your story should be, right? Or you tell it like what your visuals should look like, and it is gonna do it for you. If you just tell it to make you a beautiful photo, then it's just gonna make you a very generic beautiful photo. Like we've seen it during Chinese New Year, right? During all the WhatsApp photos, right? All of them are the same fire horse, even though they look different, but they feels the same, right? All the captions are all the same. That is what AI will give us. We will see a lot of those kind of content on the internet and everywhere, on the billboards, etc. Things will become more and more general. Everything will kind of fuse together.
Right.
So in order to break through, we still need human plus AI. Yeah.
Okay. So I think now the question comes, where do I start? Like,
for people who work with computers a lot, definitely set one day aside per week to get onto YouTube and search how to use AI to and put put whatever you want there. Yeah. So with that, it will get you into a rabbit hole of learning about how it works, right? And then there is a channel that I recommend called Andre Karpathy. He is one of the founding members of OpenAI, and now he's doing YouTube. So you can get into his channel and learn about how it actually works, because by understanding it, then you will know what to search for, where to start.
okay.
Right, yeah. And generally, subscribing to the paid plans of any AI software like ChatGPT or Claude will be a big plus, because there's a big difference between the free and the pro plan. Yeah. So you get a lot more features, and from there you will start finding ways to incorporate it into your work. Yeah. And we always think about three things, right? Use AI when it is better, when it is faster, and when it's cheaper. So obviously it is going to be better. It is going to be better. But how will it be faster? For example, when we want to edit something in Photoshop, we just want to edit one image. And then when we want to prompt AI to do it, it's going to take like a few minutes to like adjust the brightness, etc. But when you know exactly which button to click in Photoshop, you can do it in 1 minute.
Yes.
So in this case, AI is not faster, right? And AI is probably not cheaper, because you have time cost and you have like the data cost, etc. Token cost. So how do we get these two aspects? So you need to redesign your work to make AI a part of it. So faster meaning you need to do more, produce more in bulk, or produce a better quality. Then you can get AI to achieve faster, as well as cheaper. So these things they kind of come together. Yeah, because AI, the marginal cost is very low, but to get it started, you need a lot of time investment.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your like deepest, darkest secret, or what's your fear?
So when you look at how fast AI is progressing, right? Last year, everyone is talking about Lovable. And then now Lovable is completely out of the discussion. Now it's like Claude Code and Gemini, anti-gravity. And, so when you are an AI founder, at the pace of how fast everything is going, and definitely you will get replaced. Yeah, and we've seen it so much in US and Silicon Valley already. But, for myself, sometimes I do feel that way. And I think it's very normal for all kinds of business founders to feel that way. So whether if it's replaced by your competitor or actually replaced by AI. But none of the less, we still need to get people to adopt AI. Yeah, that will be the only way of not getting replaced, because us humans are very versatile. So if you look at a car, right, it actually replaced a lot of people. Because last time you used to have like people pulling the, I don't know what's it called,
Wagon, horse,
yeah, wagon, and the carriages, and people riding horses. Those people got replaced. But a car remains a car. A car cannot cook for you, but a human can both drive a car and cook. So being versatile is definitely a very important skill set that we have. So if you are a graphic designer, you can't just purely do graphic design. If you are a photographer, you can't purely do that. You need to do a lot of things and have a lot of crossover in your specialties, right?
Right. So be versatile.
Yeah.
And you got to adapt.
Be a generalist and let AI be your specialist. Know how to use it. Know how to get it to work for you.
Okay, I think one final question. I think coming from a creative, I would like to know, when, let's say, I approach companies and they say, hey, AI can do it cheaper, why do you still need a creative?
So for a lot of companies, they will just think, yeah, AI can do it so much cheaper and better. But when they actually use AI themselves, the result they get is subpar. So I think people have to position themselves as someone that can use AI well. Because definitely in the workforce, there's not a lot of people who knows this. In fact, very few, probably just a handful of people who know how to actually use it well, use it in their favor. Yeah. So a lot of brands will still think that AI is a cheap way or like a cheap and fast way to mask out our sloppiness.
Right.
But actually not. You need to use AI to create better things. So if you can show, definitely when you go to a company, you cannot use the old way of working. You can't be like setting up cameras and lights and finding models, etc. But what you need to do is to show them that you can do better using AI than a person who do not have the creative background who is using AI.
Right.
Right. Because people with the creative background will definitely have an edge. You have the art taste, right? You know how it actually works when it comes to creative.
Correct.
But people who do not, they will just generate a nice looking video using AI, right? And there's no essence in it.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know what is nice, how do you generate nice stuff?
Yeah, correct. And now this year, AI is making a lot of headlines, right? As we see it on newspaper, oh, this company is using AI, that kid is using AI. But next year, it's not going to be on newspaper because everyone will be using AI. So there's nothing to advertise about AI or not, because ultimately everyone is
even written by AI.
Yeah, it's like right now everyone's using computers. So I won't tell you that, hey, I use computer to write my assignment paper, right? You're being yourself and having an experience or like life experience will be the only way to stand out or even like to compete against AI. Right?
In Malaysia, I feel like generally we are very laid back. Adoption here is really slow compared to other places. What's your thoughts on it, and how can we accelerate it?
First of all, the middle management or the upper management needs to actually be hands-on, use AI instead of just talking about it, right? And secondly, when I ask people, hey, do you use AI? Everyone's like, yeah, I use ChatGPT. And then when you look at their prompts, you'll be like vomiting blood, right? So definitely education is very much needed because we talk to students who came to our course, right? Even though they don't produce content, they don't need to produce content, but when they saw what AI can do, it just opens up a brand new world to them because they never know about what it is. They just know about ChatGPT. And then when you see so much possibilities, then you can start thinking out of the box a bit, like out of your own box, right? What can you do with it right now? Since the technology is so accessible, anyone can just use any kind of AI for a few dollars per month, right? So how do we apply it to our business? So we need to get people thinking, as well as training them in a step-by-step manner, because AI is actually a very deep and very technical topic. So how can we give them just bite-sized content and at just the right time, so that people will be like, oh, actually this is how it works. Oh, actually it's this easy. Right? I just have to follow these steps. Oh, I just have to think it this way. By simply joining a course, you will be able to get hands-on experience, because the hands-on is actually the most important, because just by learning theories, you won't be able to fully grasp it. Because when you learn the theory, and then when you look at your prompt box, it's just an empty prompt box looking back at you, and your mind is just blank. You don't know what to type, right? So during hands-on is where we help the students the most, because we can exactly look at their prompts, look at what they are doing, which tabs or windows are open, then helping them. Because a lot of the time, right, people will be thinking, oh yeah, AI cannot do X that I already do. But most of the time, it's just they don't spend enough time with it. They just like start prompting, they start doing things, but they don't have a structured approach. They do not have any frameworks or workflows or like mental models to use it. Yeah. So when you learn about the proper techniques, then you will start realizing, oh, actually, all this while I've been using it wrong. Or like, oh, actually, all this while I've been missing out, because it can do so many things. Yeah.
Right. So how do people get in touch with you if they want to join this course?
You can follow me on Instagram at thomasau_22, or you can check out my website at www.a22a.my. It's www.a22a.my. And I actually conduct free webinars on Thursday night. So you can just come on to the Zoom webinar and actually learn about how to use AI tools. So during the webinar, I'll provide as much value as I can and teach you as much as I can during the 1 hour. And also, I will share you one workflow as well as the original prompts that I use. So by the end of the webinar, you will be getting the prompts, so you learn how to write prompts and see how I write my prompts. And if you're interested to join the course, more details will be provided in the webinar.
All right, so go follow Thomas on Instagram, and also do check out his webinars on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. as well as do check out his websites. All the links will be in the description down below. And thank you guys for watching all the way until here. If you like what we have, do drop a like and subscribe and share with your friends. I think this is a very, very interesting topic that everyone can benefit from. So thank you, Thomas, for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I'll see you guys in the next episode.